Iran is now targeting United States bases in Qatar, Bahrain, UAE, and Kuwait. The development comes after Israeli military and the U.S. launched an attack on Iran. Al Jazeera reports that Qatar, Kuwait, and the UAE have also closed their airspace, coming after explosions were heard in Kuwait. Qatar's defense ministry said on Saturday that an Iranian missile had been intercepted by the Patriot defense system. Explosions also took place in Bahrain, which said the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet had been targeted by a missile attack. According to the Reuters news agency, a loud explosion was heard in the United Arab Emirates capital, Abu Dhabi.
Missile threat warning. Sergeant shelter immediately. Shelter in place. Missile threat warning. Sergeant shelter immediately. Shelter in place.
عمر لازم نطلع شوف ضربوا الجفاه.
Meanwhile, the U.S. President Donald Trump announced a major attack on Iran Saturday, vowing to annihilate its navy and missile facilities, while urging Iranians to overthrow their government. In a video address from his Florida residence posted on Truth Social, Trump said the U.S. and Israel had launched strikes targeting Iran's military, including missile sites, describing the operation as necessary to eliminate imminent threats to American citizens and allies. Trump called on members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and Iranian security forces to surrender, offering immunity or warning of certain death. He also warned ordinary citizens to stay indoors, saying bombs will be dropping everywhere. The escalation follows U.S. and Iranian diplomatic talks in Geneva, mediated by Oman, which reportedly produced agreements on uranium stockpiles. The strikes come amid the largest U.S. military deployment to the Middle East in years and a concurrent Israeli campaign.
For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in international shipping lanes.
Back to Kogi State, Nigeria, suspected bandits have abducted passengers in a violent attack along the Ijowa-Ijagbe axis. The incident occurred Friday evening in Ijagbe, Mopamuro local government area, when armed attackers ambushed a commercial bus, opening fire and forcing it to halt before carrying out the abductions. The bus driver was reportedly shot at close range while attempting to escape and was rushed to an undisclosed medical facility with critical injuries. The identities of the abducted passengers remain unconfirmed, with families scrambling to establish contact and secure their release. The Kogi State Police Command has yet to issue an official statement on the attack or confirm the number of people abducted. A serving National Youth Service Corps member has reportedly been subjected to brutal torture in captivity by suspected bandits in northern Nigeria. In a disturbing video, Trust TV cited on X, formerly Twitter, the Corps member, speaking in Hausa, was seen surrounded by attackers who repeatedly flogged, punched and kicked him while he pleaded desperately for his life, invoking God and Prophet Muhammad in appeals for mercy. The victim, visibly exhausted and injured, was also thrown to the ground and had his chest repeatedly jumped on by the assailants. At one point, the corps member appeared to lose consciousness, but the attackers mocked him and continued the assault. One of the bandits reportedly boasted that their treatment mirrored alleged torture methods used by the Nigerian military. The video highlights the extreme distress of the victim, who struggled to breathe and move as the attackers continued unchecked. Banditry and mass abduction remains a serious threat in parts of northern Nigeria, where students, travelers, and youth corps members increasingly targeted for ransom. Authorities have yet to release information on the identity or condition of the victim. And the Defense Headquarters has clarified that military assistance from the United States does not undermine Nigeria's sovereignty, describing the partnership as legitimate and beneficial to ongoing security efforts. Officials said the U.S. support is strictly advisory and focused on capacity building, with no financial burden on the federal government. The collaboration is aimed at training Nigerian troops and enhancing counter-terrorism operations nationwide. The clarification follows the arrival of about 100 U.S. military personnel and equipment on February 17th. Major General Samaila Uba and Major General Michael Onoja emphasized that the engagement is routine, part of international military cooperation, and should not be misconstrued.
First, I want to start by acknowledging that we must appreciate the assistance that the United States government is providing to the Nigerian military to ensure that the issue of insecurity comes to an end. And the whole end state of that assistance is to make sure that Nigeria has an environment that is conducive for all its citizens to be able to live in peace, free from the threats of terrorists. As you know, the American government, its policy is to ensure that they pursue terrorists anywhere in the world in order to secure their own national interests and national security. So what they are doing in coming to our aid to assist us should not be considered abnormal.
An unpopular Anambra native doctor, Chidozie Nwangu, also known as Akwa Okuko, has been sentenced to 2 years in prison. Nwangu was arrested in February 2025 by operatives of the Agune Chamber security outfit over allegations of aiding and abetting kidnapping, money rituals, and related charges. He was arrested alongside 2 colleagues, Okocha, also known as Onyeze Jesus, and Ekene, also known as AK-Hate. On the Friday, Justice Jude Obiora read the judgment after Nwangu pleaded guilty and entered a plea bargain with the state government. He was sentenced to 2 years on counts 3 to 8, while counts 1, 2, and 3 were struck out. The judge cited Nwangu's remorse and noted that under both the Criminal Code and the Anambra Homeland Law, anyone claiming powers to heal or make wealth through magical means like Okete.
There is no way I will tell you that I'm not okay with it, because it is a plea bargain agreement. That was the agreement was signed with the government when we agreed on the issue of plea bargain. And the government kept to their own side by sentencing him 11 months imprisonment. That is our agreement with them.
Now, former President Atiku Abubakar has said millions of Nigerians are switching political allegiance out of necessity, driven primarily by the struggle for survival. Atiku made the remarks in a statement reacting to the defection of Ahmadu Fintiri from the People's Democratic Party of All Progressive to the All Progressive Congress. He criticized the trend of opposition governors joining the ruling party, claiming it reflects political intimidation rather than genuine support. Atiku alleged that the administration of Bola Tinubu is using state institutions to harass rivals in a bid to create a one-party system. The former vice president also highlighted worsening economic conditions, including rising food prices, deepening poverty, insecurity, and joblessness, as factors driving political defections, and cautioned citizens not to equate cross-carpeting with popularity, questioning what the APC would campaign on in 2027. A former presidential aspirant of the Labour Party, Faduri Joseph, has dismissed the current administration and major opposition parties as indistinguishable, accusing them of repeatedly missing opportunities to deliver good governance. He argued that Nigeria's present socio-economic challenges are the result of leadership failures spanning several decades. Addressing journalists in Abuja, Faduri, now a member of the National Rescue Movement, called for young Nigerians to take charge of the country's leadership, insisting that it is time for a new generation to rule and reshape the nation's future.
Every coalition of politicians, they are all the same, looking for their own selfish interests, not for the interests of the people of Nigeria. They have all been in government one way or the other. The ones who are coalition today, in ADC, are the ones who are not in government in this current administration. Leadership in Nigeria needs a younger generation to run it. When the rest of the world are competing in technology, what are we doing in our nation? We are still doing manual voting. They've done the best, and their best is not good enough. So they should leave the state, the country, to we, the younger generation, to run it, and we'll run it better.
This is the news update on Trust TV, coming up after the break. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news update on Trust Television. Now let's take a recap of our major stories again. Iran attacks U.S. bases in Kuwait, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. Gunmen abduct 6 passengers, shoot driver in fresh Kogi attack. Now moving on to more stories. The safety of domestic liquefied petroleum gas LPG retail outlets in Nigeria is raising fresh concern. Across many neighborhoods, small gas shops now sit close to homes, shops, and busy roads. Some are licensed, many are not. The spread of illegal and poorly managed outlets has increased the risks of fire outbreaks and explosions. Aisha Abdelmomin reports on the growing safety concerns among Abuja residents.
Regulation exists on paper. Enforcement remains uneven. While some operators follow laid-down procedures, others cut corners to save costs. On the streets of Abuja, residents admit there is knowledge gap. Several said they have never checked the expiring date on their cylinders. Others confessed they simply refill wherever is closest or cheaper, without asking if the outlet is certified.
As it is now, nobody knows when cylinder is expired or not. So they go, even the expired ones, sometimes they repent it. They will repent it and it will be shining. They will still resell it again.
People buy gas just by how much they can afford. Where it's affordable, that's where they get to buy gas from.
I don't know anything about license or non-license. It's just for me to take my cylinder to the filling station and fill. Then I can even send my wife to go and fill. Then after returning, it's finished. Then we fill back again. But if it is going to be on a license level, I think it's good for that, so that everything will balance. You understand what I'm saying? If there's a license for it, you understand that? So some other people that doesn't even have a courage of feedback about going for it, we surely know that it is good as well if there's license.
They don't even know whether it is labeled, specifying the expiration date and the duration that it is supposed to last in a particular household. So people buy it from anywhere, use it for any number of years, and if it's exposed, that is all. They don't know at all. So what I'm saying essentially is there is not enough information to the members of the public on where to buy the gas and the expiry period of those cylinders that they buy gas and use it in respect of.
We see the way the information is being passing, that you have to check it. You have A, you have B, you have that. Through the TikTok and Facebook, I learned that. I don't know before, but I realized that it's expired. But more people still need to be educated more concerning it, so that they know that they need to check their cylinder.
Ibrahim Mohammed, Public Relations Officer of the State Fire Service, explained that licensed retailers undergo proper training and inspection. He warns that illegal operators who set up without approval are sanctioned once identified. He also noted that a gas cylinder has a lifespan of 10 to 15 years. After that, it should be withdrawn from use. Keeping old or damaged cylinder in circulation increases the risks of explosion.
Now detect the healthy gas cylinder or any four-tiered gas cylinder. You see, if it is leaking from the the head cap, the nozzle from the nozzle, so you will see that it will be smelling. The gas itself does not have smell, but the smell is naturally, it's been imbued into it so as to allow people to smell it, to know that when it is leaking or when it is not. And gas cylinders also leak as a result of punctured cylinder, punctured body. If it is punctured and is leaking, that is also dangerous. Once they discover heat or fuel or the oxygen, before you know it, they combine. Please, for clarity, let me let you know that gas itself is a fuel. So what it is looking for it to ignite, is heat and oxygen. So, and this fuel, heat, and oxygen, when they are combined, there will be fire.
Authorities insist that basic safety guidelines must be followed at home and at retail points. For many households that rely on cooking gas daily, the issue is simple. Convenience should not override safety. Aisha Abdulmomenu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In business, investors on the Nigerian Exchange Limited recorded a total loss of 2.205 trillion naira in 4 trading days as the market closed the week on a bearish note. On Friday alone, investors lost 475 billion naira, marking the 4th straight session of decline. The downturn followed sustained profits taken in heavyweight stocks and a 50 basis point interest rate cut by the Central Bank of Nigeria to 26.5%. Market capitalization dropped by 0.38% to 123.673 trillion naira, while the all-share index shed 741 points to close at 192,826.78. Year-to-date return eased to 23.91%. Despite the losses, market breadth was positive with 39 gainers against 25 losers. Top gainers included Sovereign Trust Insurance, RT Briscoe and NGX Group, while major decliners were Mikio Industries and Dangote Cement. Trading volume dipped 5.15% to 823.83 million shares, valued at 34.75 billion naira, with Fortis Global Insurance leading in volume and Aradel Holdings topping value trades. And on the foreign scene, at least 20 people were killed when a Bolivian military cargo plane carrying banknotes crashed while landing near the capital, La Paz, authorities said on Friday, as crowds attempted to loot the site. The Lockheed Martin C-130 Hercules transport plane veered off the runway at El Alto International Airport and crashed into a nearby avenue, destroying multiple vehicles and damaging trucks. Bystanders rushed to grab scattered cash, prompting police to deploy tear gas, while some of the money was later burned in a bonfire at the scene. Witnesses reported that the crash occurred during a severe hailstorm with lightning. Christina Choke, a local vendor, said debris struck her car, injuring her daughter. Authorities from the Bolivia Ministry of Defense said an investigation will be launched. Police and fire officials confirmed at least 20 dead, with 28 others injured as recovery operations continued. In sport, Nigerian striker Stephen Ode has completed a move to Hungarian club Debreceni VSC. The 28-year-old joined the side on a free transfer after leaving Danish Superliga outfit Renders FC in December following the expiration of his contract. He spent 4.5 years at the East Jutland club, scoring 28 goals in 129 appearances. Ode has previously featured for FC Zurich in Switzerland, KRC Genk in Belgium, and French League two-side Amiens SC. During their stint with FC Zurich, he won the Swiss Cup and also lifted the Belgian Super Cup with Genk. The former MFM forward has scored 83 goals across competitions in his professional career. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news. I am Maria Idris. Thank you for watching.